Welcome! In this explainer, we will conduct a constitutional analysis of Articles 1 through 4 which address the Union and its territory. These articles grant Parliament the extraordinary power to reshape the political map of India.
Our agenda for this analysis is as follows. We will begin with the concept of India as a union of states. Then we will define the territory of India. We will proceed to the constitutional framework of Articles 1 through 4, followed by an examination of landmark Supreme Court rulings. Next, we will detail the reorganization process and conclude with a summary of the key principles.
Let us begin with Section 1. India, a union of states. This is the foundational principle of the Indian Republic, and the phrasing was chosen with deliberate care by the Constituent Assembly. Article 1, Clause 1 of the Constitution states, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The crucial phrase here is union of states, which distinguishes the Indian polity from other forms of federalism. This phrasing establishes the concept of an indestructible union of destructible states. This means two things. First, the Indian Union is not the result of a contractual agreement among sovereign states. Therefore, states do not possess the right to secede. Second, while the Union itself is indestructible, its constituent units, the states, are administratively alterable by Parliament.
Moving to Section 2, the territory of India. Let us examine the current political composition of the Union.
As of the year noted, the territory of India comprises two categories of administrative units. There are 28 states, which are the primary units, each with its own elected legislature. Additionally, there are 8 union territories which are centrally administered by the President under Article 239.
Section 3, Constitutional Framework, Articles 1 through 4. These articles constitute the parliamentary toolkit for all matters of territorial administration.
We have already discussed Article 1, Clause 1. Article 1, Clause 3 further defines the territory of India as comprising 3 components. A. The territories of the states. B. The Union territories specified in the first schedule, and C. Such other territories as may be acquired.
Article 2 empowers Parliament to admit into the Union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. This power pertains to territories that are not currently part of the Indian Union.
It is critical to distinguish between Article 2 and Article 3. Article 2 deals with external adjustments, the admission or establishment of new states from territory not previously part of India. In contrast, Article 3 deals with internal reorganization, the alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states within India.
The powers of Parliament under Article 3 are extensive. They include the power to form a new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting 2 or more states or parts of states, increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundaries of any state, and alter the name of any state.
Article 4 provides the legislative procedure. It states that any law made under Article 2 or Article 3 shall not be deemed to be an amendment of the Constitution for the purposes of Article 368. This means such laws can be passed by a simple majority, as with ordinary legislation.
We now turn to Section 4, Landmark Supreme Court Rulings. The judiciary has played a crucial role in interpreting the scope and limitations of Parliament's territorial powers.
The first case is Babulal Parathe versus the State of Bombay from the year 1960. This case addressed the role of the state legislature in the reorganization process.
The central issue was whether Parliament is bound to accept the views expressed by the state legislature on a reorganization bill as required by the proviso to Article 3. The Supreme Court held that it is not. The proviso is merely consultative. It requires only that the state's view be obtained. Parliament is not bound by this view.
The legal principle established by Babulal Parathe is clear. In matters of internal state reorganization, the will of the Union Parliament is supreme over the will of the state legislature.
The second landmark case, also from 1960, is the presidential reference known as In Re Barubari Union. This case concerned the power of Parliament to cede Indian territory. The issue before the court was whether Parliament could cede Indian territory to a foreign country by exercising its powers under Article 3. The court held that it could not. The power to diminish the area of a state under Article 3 pertains only to internal reorganization. The cession of sovereign territory to a foreign power requires a formal constitutional amendment under Article 368.
The relevancy of this ruling is that it establishes a critical limitation on parliamentary power. While internal reorganization is procedurally simple, ceding national territory is not. It necessitates a constitutional amendment passed by a special majority as prescribed under Article 368.
Let us now proceed to Section 5, the reorganization process. We will outline the formal procedural steps required for any internal reorganization under Article 3.
The process unfolds in 4 steps. 1. A bill for reorganization can only be introduced in Parliament with the prior recommendation of the President. 2. The President must refer the bill to the legislature of the affected state to express its views within a specified period. 3. After this period expires, the bill is introduced in Parliament. 4. The bill is then passed by a simple majority.
To summarize the key procedural limitations, the referral of the bill to the state legislature is a mandatory, non-negotiable step. However, the view expressed by that legislature is not binding on Parliament. Finally, this entire process applies only to internal reorganization. Ceding territory is governed exclusively by the amendment procedure in Article 368. We have reached our final section, number 6, Summary and Key Principles. Here, we will distill the essential takeaways regarding the Union and its territory.
In summary, the key principles are as follows. First, India is an indestructible union from which states have no right to secede. Second, internal reorganization under Article 3 can be accomplished by a simple majority in Parliament. Third, while consultation with the affected state is mandatory, its view is not binding, as established in Babulal Pared. Fourth, ceding territory to a foreign power requires a constitutional amendment with a special majority, as held in the Brubar Union case. The final and overarching principle is that the Parliament of India holds ultimate authority over the political geography of the country.